Welcome back to the Whatnauts Reactor Core. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Ignacio Rojas. Ignacio,
Hey.
Are you ready to talk about some more Star Wars?
Oh, am I? Of course I am.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so we are here to react to Star Wars Visions, numbers 4 through 6. We already did 1 through 3 previously. That is up on YouTube and podcast services and our website, thewhatnauts.com. You guys can go find all of that stuff there. But we've been doing this one in chunks. So here's part 2, chunk 2, Star War number 2.
Episode 2.
Episode 2, yeah. Except it's actually episode 4 through 6, which was also the original episode. Anyways, now that we have thoroughly confused you, I believe this is episode 50 of the Whatnauts Reactor Core. So, congratulations to us. Small pat on the back for making it to number 50 here on the Whatnauts Reactor Core. But Ignacio, let's get started. What did you think of numbers 4 through 6? Just kind of as a whole, like top level, how does this compare to the first bit?
I have a similar kind of like general opinion of these 3 episodes to the past 3 episodes, where I liked 4 and 5 a lot, and then 6 I'm iffy on.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, but I loved at least 4 through 6. 4 and 5. I love them both a lot.
Interesting. I liked these ones as well. Number 4 was the one that fell flat for me.
Wow.
I liked it. It was really cool. But it felt like an episode of an anime, like midway through this season, right? Where it's like what's happening is neat, but I don't necessarily understand the bigger story of what's going on here. So I just kind of felt out of the loop. But yeah, I liked these ones a lot. I really liked 5 and 6. I know 6 was very different and also mixed in some inspirations from other things. So it was very different, but I liked these. And I think overall so far, I feel like Star Wars Visions has a much more mellow tone to it, or just like it's, I don't know. Like I think I'm trying to compare this to Marvel's What If, even though I probably shouldn't. But like Marvel's What If started out with the Captain Carter one, which I fucking loved. I thought that was fantastic, and I think that the like hype around that one, the amount of hype that I had for that, I don't think I've reached it yet with Star Wars Visions. But again, that's not to say that these are bad or that they're not good. I loved these, but they just felt like, man, these are all solid. Like I like them.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't know.
yeah.
So yeah, that's like high level thoughts so far. I still don't really know what to expect for the last 3. I think I've looked at the titles of them once and who was in them, but that was all that I looked at and saw.
No, I'm basically pretty much blind with what's left on Visions.
Yeah. So I guess last time we talked about this, I did not know, but Disney has basically every language of this that you can think of. I'm assuming you watched these in the Japanese.
And that elevated for me episode 6.
Nice.
No, I'm guessing you wouldn't know. I'm guessing you watched them in English.
I did watch them in English, but I'm also like there's very, very few Japanese voice actors that I can recognize. I am someone who still usually watches subs, but
you're one of those people.
I like subs.
One of those
subs is good. But yeah, I still can't recognize like, oh, that's the Japanese voice actor who did this guy in that show and this one. I'm just, it's all, yeah. But I watched it in English just to continue on, and because I knew you would watch it in Japanese, so that we could compare stuff like that. So there you go. Let's start out with this first one here. Let me pull up the name of the of this one. I don't remember. The Village Bride. There we go. The Village Bride. Ignacio, what did you like about The Village Bride?
I liked how, yeah, I'm with you that it feels like it is indeed one like mid-season episode of a show. Yeah. I even with that, I was pretty on board with it. It didn't bother me that, and I just want to ignore that. I like even the small story that you had with the bride and the husband and what she was doing for the village, and even how most all of the other episodes have been, oh, it's the Empire is out now and we're having to deal with the Empire and Jedi's not being a thing. But this one is more as an aftermath of what happened before with the prequels, where it was, hey, the Clone Wars happened, what are they called?
Separatists?
The Separatists came here, they left their droids, they left, and now this other group of bandits reprogrammed the droids, and now they're messing with us and are threatening us. And I like that aspect of it, and I liked I at first I didn't know how it would feel having both, like, kind of two groups of protagonists in a way. You have the girl that's like a Jedi and her companion, and then you have the bride and the husband. And I wasn't sure how I would feel having two kinds of protagonists, but at the end, I really liked it. And this is one of my problems with it, but it isn't really a problem with Visions and with What If even, is that I wish I could stay more time with these people.
Yeah. Like, to me, this read as, it's at least after the Clone Wars, by some time, the Empire might be a thing, but I kind of got the vibe that, like, they're so far out there on this, like, distant planet or something that the Empire just, it exists. It has control of the galaxy. They're just this, like, town that's, like, super far out there that they just haven't gotten back to yet. That's kind of been forgotten. And yeah, these, like, bandits have kind of taken up the antagonistic spot that the Separatist had held. And yeah, this village, it, like, is almost in the midst of this, like, hey, we need to go the whole, like, Seven Samurai route, which I know Star Wars has explored multiple times. But yeah, like, I liked what they were doing, that they seem to have their own, like, they seem to be so far removed from the whole situation that we know. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, like, there's the Jedi Padawan. It's unclear exactly because they still had the braid, but they cut it off in this one, which probably symbolizes, like, hey, I think I'm ready to go be a master, but that's also not what the story was about.
They kind of mention, I think, that she had a master, so I'm guessing that something happened to the master that she couldn't go from Padawan to full Jedi Knight. And I think that
it's kind of a free
maybe she was in a journey, in her own journey with this other guy, and now she feels like, now I'm ready to be a Jedi.
Yeah. So, I mean, she has this, like, this mask on. When she takes it off, she has this scar on her cheek. She has this, like, yellow katana-like lightsaber, which is neat, which we've seen very few of in Star Wars canon. We've seen the dark saber, and then Ahsoka's eventually, the like double white ones that she has are kind of more katana like.
Yeah. Also,
But
yellow you don't see a lot. I think Ray
yeah,
had one at the end of the last movie.
something like that. Yeah, I know we've seen it once or twice, but it's a rare color.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and they had the right things to be like, I want this anime. Like I
Yeah.
want, like, tell me more of what's going on here. What's her story? What was the whole deal with that guy's helmet that had a rocket inside it that could
Yeah.
like, what was going on there? I liked it. It was
Yeah.
cool.
Also, the ship kind of looked like the Millennium Falcon.
Very much inspired
Kinda, yeah.
by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I
Yeah.
liked. That it was like, oh, it's a small nod to that.
Something that I'm
Um,
liking quite a lot from Visions is that it gives us the opportunity to explore more of the universe of Star Wars, where
yeah,
you can meet new planets, you can meet new cultures, quote
yeah,
unquote. Like here, you see that they have a special relationship with the Force that we haven't seen in other places on Star Wars. And I just love that Visions lets us see other worlds, other cultures in Star Wars. And also, I'm just a sucker for the kind of story that they were telling, the two lovers that have to be separated because she has something to do that's bigger
yeah,
than her.
yeah.
I'm just a sucker for that kind of story.
Yeah, and then like I think in proper Star Wars fashion, right? The main character had a sister who was maybe more of the rebellious type, and
Yeah.
it's like, no, we
Yeah.
can fight against them, and that like I think normal Star Wars might focus on her
Mm-hmm.
more so, but yeah, she's kind of just a side character that shows up every now and then and is about to blow things up, but gets caught. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it's an interesting story
Yeah.
for sure. Um, and yeah, I'm interested in the idea of how Jedi or Padawans that had a master or something, basically all of the survivors of Order 66, like wandering out, like how do they stay hidden, how do they conceal their identities. I like the idea of this mask,
Yeah.
which is usually something we don't see unless they are a Sith or they're a bad
Mm-hmm.
guy or something like that. And yet there's a Jedi with a mask on, and I was like, that looks freaking cool. I like that.
Yeah.
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 So good stuff. Good stuff
Mm-hmm.
with that one. What did you think of the next one?
Again, I really like this one.
Let me look up the
Once
name of this
again,
one.
the same
The
problem
Ninth
with the other
Jedi.
one. The same problem with the other one. I want to keep. I want to see what happens next for them. It ends up with we know what they are going to do next, but I want to see what they do next. I just really liked it. I liked that it wasn't what I was expecting that it would be. Of course, you first start with the 7 Jedi that are told to come to this one place because they're gonna be given their lightsabers, and you start with that, and you think, oh, okay, it's gonna be about them. But no, then you cut to the girl and her father is making new lightsabers, and then he picks it up. The saber is blue, but she then picks it up, and it is kind of like
Clear. It's like
clear. Yeah, it doesn't have a defined color. And
translucent, kind of.
yeah, and I liked how it wasn't about the Jedi; it was about her. It was about her trying to give the sabers to the other Jedi, and then the the end where they are revealed to be actually Sith. I wasn't expecting that one, and then the guy
That was a
being inside
good twist.
the
Yeah.
droid. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, and I like how they used that the idea of the saber is a different color depending on the person. That
Mhm.
lets you show her growth with the Force once it turns from clear to green. But it also tells you when they finally turn them on and they are red. Now you
Yeah.
see, oh no, they are Sith. And then the one guy at the end that is purple, you know that
That was neat.
he wasn't actually bad.
Yeah, that was neat. We put a lot of hard work into the shows that we make, and yes, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and we'd love it if you would check them all out. You can find out more information on our website at thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in the Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. If you want to support what we do here at The Whatnauts, patreon.com/The Whatnauts is the best place to do that. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You can get all kinds of exclusive content at the $3 tier. You can also get a shout out and thank you on all of our shows at the $5 tier. You can support us on Twitch by subscribing to our channel at twitch.tv/The Whatnauts, and we would love to have you all join us for our live streams and talk with us in the chat. And lastly, we have merch. If you want to grab yourself a shirt or a sweatshirt or a mug or something else, go to thewhatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today. On one hand, I want to say this is my favorite so far. But I have a hesitation to say this is my favorite, only because I think this is like the truest to Star Wars that we know right now. Mm-hmm. It's just a really good version of that. Man, I'm sold. I want that show. Give me that show. That was freaking cool. Where it's like it's so far in the future that the Jedi have gone away, the Sith have kind of gone away, or at least enough to they're not necessarily the major players in the universe, and they're trying to rebuild and restart their religions, and just like the whole thing was fascinating. It felt like the most traditional Star Wars because we also got, right, like here's this young character who doesn't really know too much about the Force or stuff like that except for stories, but she lives out in the middle of nowhere, right? Just like Luke did, right? Yeah. Just like Rey kind of does, just stuck on that planet. And yeah, they are like somehow naturally gifted in the Force, but they don't necessarily know how to control it or do all of that stuff. Man, the whole thing was just really neat. Yeah, the whole like boom, they turn the lightsabers on and they're all red. I was like, oh no, this is not good. Not good at all. But yeah, I enjoyed that one very much. That one was very good. I think that one was done by Production IG, which they are very well known in the anime industry.
Looked up their whole everything that they've done, and I think I've only seen one thing that they've done, which is Metabots. Back in the 2000s or 90s. But I know they've done a lot of Evangelion things. I think they've done a lot.
I believe so.
I'm guessing you've seen those.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Evangelion fan. But that one I think was the most traditional, which is my hesitation to say that that's my favorite, because I feel like the purpose of Star Wars Visions is supposed to be these other interpretations, right? These things we don't typically see. Stuff like that. So there you go. But I liked it a lot. Let's move on to this third one. So you mentioned this was the one that you thought you didn't like as I didn't much. Like it. This one I thought was fascinating because I think this is almost the most different that we've seen, and I think it brings up some interesting questions that no one else has. But yeah, this one is like, what if Star Wars meets Astro Boy? And it's basically that. So what was it about this one that did not connect with you?
I just didn't really care about the protagonist, and once the master dies, I think that it just goes everything way too fast to the point that I thought, oh, maybe he is just dreaming it up. It goes from him. The master dies, so he starts working on the things that the master was working on, and he figures it out. He makes it rain and everything grow, and then
making it rain, right? Yeah,
yeah. I was wondering what movement you were doing.
Did the hand motion thing, like I was.
Yeah, so then that happens. That happens. He, I think, goes to the grave, and that's where everything kicks a gear. Where out of nowhere he finds he doesn't find it. The crystal, the Kyber crystal is within him, but it just pops out of nowhere. And he builds a lightsaber, and then he starts showing off the lightsaber, and out of nowhere, the other Sith or whoever comes to the planet, and then they fight, and then he's about to be beaten, and then he gets a power up, and then, and then he kills him, and then everything's going so fast, and everything comes out of nowhere. And that's what I didn't like, and even before that, I wasn't really vibing with the character.
Okay, I can say that. Yeah, this one was on the shorter end. I think it was only like 13 minutes long, so it's a pretty short one. Yeah, I immediately recognized this as like, oh, this is an Astro Boy knockoff, which is really interesting for them to do within the Star Wars universe. I really like that mashup. I think something like that would be cool. For the droids that we've seen in the Star Wars universe, the most humanoid we've seen is like C-3PO, right? Like that's so it might be a little bit strange to see one that is maybe bio-organic somehow, some way. We don't really know. But I think the cool thing about this one is that it raises the question of like, hey, what if droids could use the Force somehow? Which is something they haven't explored. I doubt they ever really will. But it's a neat like thought experiment, right? Like, what if?
That was my question. Can droids use the Force? Has there been another droid Jedi before?
Not that I know of. I don't think so. I mean, they can like physically use the weapons because all you have to do is like hit the button to turn it on,
you have
right?
Grievous, although Grievous was
correct me if I'm wrong. Grievous was a living being.
Yeah, he was at one point.
Same thing with Darth Vader, who they mention at one point is more machine than man.
Yeah.
So it still seems like they have some human part to them, but it's unclear if this one does. But yeah, just for a droid proper, I don't think there has been. It's just a neat question of just like, I guess no one really has thought about that or asked that or explored it, stuff like that. So that's why I liked that one. But it does move very fast. It is kind of unclear on things, but I think it actively made that choice to move a little bit faster, to be unclear and be like, hey, we're just gonna have fun with this, and it's Astro Boy knockoff, and he's gonna fight some Inquisitor there. So,
and now the one thing that I did like about the episode was the voice actress for the character.
Okay,
it was Masako Nozawa. I don't know if that rings a bell.
Not by name.
She's just the most well-known Japanese voice actress because she has done a lot of work, but most importantly, she's the voice of Goku and his family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So once the droid started talking, I was like, yeah, that's Masako Nosawa.
That brings back memories. I remember the first time I ever saw the Japanese version of Dragon Ball Z, and I was so surprised at the voices. And this was like, I think I had known that like Tommy Pickles from the Rugrats was actually voiced by a woman, but like I didn't really think much of that. And then like this was the first time that I was like, huh, I guess there are times when like male characters are voiced by women and stuff. Because it was the Cell Saga when Trunks goes Super Saiyan and he's trying to stop Cell from like leaving the island.
There?
And I don't remember his number, but the android with the mohawk is
16
there. Yeah, and Krillin is like scared to talk to him, and I was like, man, all of their voices are so high pitched. This is wild.
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect this.
Okay. That that's a whole different conversation of how
it really is. But
yeah, the English dub of Dragon Ball really changed the characters to be something completely different. Yeah. But yeah, she is
interesting.
Probably the most well-known voice actor from Japan worldwide.
Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's a good fun fact there.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this to close things out. We have 3 more left in season 1. What are you hoping to see in these remaining 3?
I'm hoping to see something more similar to 4 and 5 than to 6.
Okay.
I want that kind of stories.
Sure.
Not something that is completely out there, and not something like episode 3 and episode 6 where they started rushing things out, or things seem to, because these episodes are so short, it can really be hard to keep it all concise to like 13-14 minutes. And that's why some episodes here have failed to utilize that and have just rushed things. I'm hoping that these are more akin to episodes 1 and 2 and 4 and 5.
Okay. Sounds good. I think for me personally, Jedi and Sith are always very tempting to do and put, because that is the thing that's like, oh, what's cool about Star Wars? The Jedi, the lightsabers, like that stuff. I want to see something that doesn't have them, that like focuses more on the bounty hunters or the clones or the droids somehow, some way. I know those are usually considered filler, like when it's in the cartoons and stuff like that. But I think there's some really neat things out there in the Star Wars universe that isn't Jedi and Sith.
Yeah.
So hoping to see more of that.
I hope we see something that is before Order 66.
Yes. Yeah, that too. I want something early trade federate, like give me like them working out some trade federation thing, just 20 minutes of that.
Yeah.
How much is rice worth nowadays? I don't know.
Give me a story with Jar Jar.
Fruits. Yeah. Misa only have 2. Indeed. But yeah, I think that about wraps us up for our reactions to this batch of Star Wars Visions episodes. So Ignacio, where can the people find you on the internet?
People can find me on Twitter at Ignacio Rojas B. That's IGNACIOROJASB.
And you guys can find me at Kyle Springer on Twitter. If you guys want to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. So go like, share, subscribe. You guys know the deal with that. All of that stuff. I do want to give a quick shout out to all of our Patreon supporters, especially those at the $5 tier and above. So thank you to Sam, who has been supporting us for so long. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
But with that wraps us up for this one. Episode 50 of the Whatnauts Reactor Core. I think the next time you see us, we will be doing the next Marvel's What If. I think it's their penultimate one. So be on the lookout for that. More reactions coming your way very soon. But until then, bye.
Bye.